And here is Alyssa Orange, the host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, joining us every Tuesday on halftime. And are you just waking up, Alyssa? I was able to actually sleep past 7 o'clock, which is rare. But if the game didn't go to 2, that wouldn't have happened.
I actually had an interview scheduled this morning with Coach Brad Harris at 8:30. So I was awake, barely functioning. But yes, it was a late night, but a happy wake-up call this morning.
All right. Brad Harris, huh? Winningest coach in Benton's history, 84 victories, and plenty more on the way.
Yeah, you think so. They're just playing really well right now, coming off a shutout win, and they've got a West Memphis team on Friday that's winless in conference play, and Benton's had a really successful season, and Coach Harris, again, like you said, getting that 84th win, making him the winningest coach in program history, but also giving a lot of love to his quarterback, and he also set the passing all-time passing leader on Friday night as well. So a lot of records fell for Benton on Friday, but just another team right now that is playing good football. He says they think they're peaking at the right time, and this is when you want to do that, when you've got 2 weeks left of the regular season before the playoffs start.
So Bentonville slowed down that Rogers offense. First time that's happened, Rogers. I mean, wasn't it 70 points 2 weeks in a row, and Bentonville gets a big 31-28 win to take control of that 7A West.
Exactly, and you do have to tip your cap to Rogers, who also slowed down a Bentonville offense for the most part. You know, these are 2 high-powered offense that were just putting up crazy points and numbers, and they knew they had to come with a defensive approach, and they did that. And so a 31-28 low-scoring game in terms of those 2 teams. But I was in Greenwood on Thursday night for the Van Buren game, so I'm watching this Bentonville-Rogers game unfold after the Greenwood game was over, and we're watching it driving back from in the car, and Rogers goes up, takes the lead after being down most of the game. Then Bentonville comes back and ties it, or it regains the lead, 31-28 on a Chris Thicklin touchdown run. And, you know, I have to give it to Coach Chad Harbison. When they drove down the field, he had enough time to kick a field goal and tie the game and send it to overtime. They elected to go for the win. I like that gutsy move. I think when you have a guy like Jeff Regan leading your offense, you can easily do that and take that risk because you have the faith in your offense. Unfortunately, it did not go Rogers' way. Fortunately, it went Bentonville's way. So Bentonville getting that win, I think, kind of gives them the 7A West as long as they don't trip up. They've got a handful of games. I think they have Springdale on Friday, and then they close it out with Bentonville West. So as long as they don't trip themselves up, I think they win the conference.
Bentonville West has Northside this weekend, and then they get Bentonville. You think there's any shot for West in that game once they actually get to November 7th?
Yeah. Anything can happen, and I have to tell you that Bentonville West had a lot of momentum riding into their game against Rogers, and I think Rogers, that game kind of put them back on the back burner a little bit when you talk about teams that we focus on in the 7A West, but they're still a really good, talented football team, and I really like their quarterback, Trey Thompson. I think he's talented. Does Bentonville West have the defense to shut down this offense right now for Bentonville West that has just insane amount of weapons around Cole Slepecki, their quarterback? I don't know, but anything can happen. We all know this week in and week out. So there is a possibility that Bentonville West could trip them up at the end of the year, but they're going to have to play some really good football to do it.
So I know you also spoke earlier in the week with Peyton Bailey from Farmington, and Farmington got a huge win over Morrilton last weekend too.
They did. You know, that's the second game of the year that Farmington has won by 1 point. Earlier in the year, it was Prairie Grove with a missed extra point to give them that win. This past weekend on Thursday, actually, against Morrilton, it was a 2-point conversion that was unsuccessful and went in the Farmington's way, and Peyton Bailey got to talk to him, and he said, they'd been running that play the whole time. I kind of had an idea of what exactly they were going to do, and so I just waited, and it took a little bit longer for that play to unfold, but when it did, I was in the right spot and got my hand on the ball to knock it down. So Farmington has their quarterback, Aiden Lester, back, which is good. He was out for a couple weeks with a knee injury, but he's back, and I think this is a team that can make another run like they did last year in the postseason. So good to see Coach Tice and that group doing well and having success at the end of the year.
Still just good luck getting past Greenbrier. What's the winning streak up to now?
Oh, gosh. Put me on the spot. I don't know a lot. I don't think it's quite Greenwood's.
34. I see it here. 34. It's on the Varsity Vibe email, the newsletter that comes out every week.
Thank you for pulling that up for me. I don't have it in front of me.
That's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
and didn't even get any resistance this past weekend against Van Buren. 434 yards for Kane Archer, 5 touchdowns. It's just clockwork every weekend now.
Yeah, Greenwood is a well-oiled machine down there, and that was my first time getting down there to a game. And I don't think this video is out there. There might be a few. I had a nice little collision on the sidelines. I got taken out, but it's okay. I bounced right back up, and I'm not hurt. Don't worry. Just got
no, wait a minute. I know. Were you when you played softball? What was your position?
So a lot of second base and outfield. Sure.
Did you ever take a catcher out before? Because, I mean, that
I did catch some, and I did get taken out. Now, I had some girls collide with me at second base when you're trying to field a ground ball, and they hit you. That's happened a couple times. But, no, I bounced right back up. But Greenwood is rolling right now. And I think the biggest concern for Coach Young heading into the season was their defense. They were going to be young, and I think they knew early on they were going to have to outscore opponents because they didn't know if they were going to technically be able to stop them. You go back to that Bentonville West game, right, where it came down to the wire, and a couple other games that they had to come and do some 2-point conversions to win those games. And now you've got a team that just held Van Buren to 3 points. And I think their defense is playing really well right now, which is what you need because that offense is hard to stop.
We talked a little bit about the volleyball state tournament starting last week. What's happened in volleyball so far?
Yeah, so yesterday was day one of the state tournament, and those are played at location around the state, and then the state title games are in Hot Springs on Saturday. So really focusing with some of our teams in Northwest Arkansas in the 6A specifically. Bentonville and Fayetteville got a bye. Bentonville will play Bentonville West at noon coming up, and then Fayetteville plays tonight. But those two teams are on the opposite sides of the bracket. Bentonville went all the way to the state finals, lost last year. Fayetteville, of course, led by former Razorback and All-American Jessica Phelan. She's won a lot of titles. She knows how to win volleyball games and win state titles down at Fayetteville. So there's a possibility that Bentonville and Fayetteville can meet in the state finals. And that's going to be exciting. They've played twice already. Bentonville won both of those meetings, and I was at the last one, and Fayetteville really kind of hurt themselves. You know, you can't give away easy points with service errors and things like that. So if that happens again, that's going to be a fun one in Hot Springs on Saturday. But that continues to unfold, and you've got Farmington and Siloam Springs who are also looking to make a run in the 5A. So volleyball is exciting. It's a fun sport. It's really big right now in East Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas, and so we'll see how it all unfolds.
Basketball season going to be starting soon too. I mean, it's just one right into the next. Does volleyball kind of lead right into basketball?
Mm-hmm.
Right around the corner.
It does. It's right around the corner, and it's crazy that I think it starts in about 2 weeks. And we all know that there's talent around this state in basketball. We've talked about it before. I think there's more talent basketball-wise than football-wise right now in the state when it comes to recruiting. But there's some big teams up here that have got some talented teams. But I want you to kind of keep an eye on, Phil. We cover women's basketball. You understand how big of a sport women's basketball is becoming. And there's a girl who plays at Farmington, Easton McCullough. She might be one of the best players, if not the best player in the state. And she will be fun to watch and follow along with this season.
Yeah. Speaking of Farmington and you know, with women's hoops, this is a really big year for Jenna Lawrence. And you know, in first year under Kelsey Music, she's one of 5 returners on the team and has shown there's been flashes, a flash here and there, maybe more so last season than as a freshman, but you saw it a few times as a freshman too. Just you can see that there's something there, just a matter of it developing, and I think her coming into her body a little bit as well. But I'm excited to watch Jenna this year because I feel like she's shown us some flashes, but it's only been flashes so far.
I think so. And, I'm curious, Phil. I'd love to kind of get your take, too. And you've obviously, being the voice of the women's basketball team, saw it unfold in person. And I think Jenna came out so highly recruited, came here, was talented, and they were hoping that they would give her some time to develop, give her some time to get used to the system, to get used to the terminology. And I think they might have had to throw her into situations sooner than they wanted to. And that might have hindered a little bit of what we saw from Jenna in terms of just having to be out there by necessity instead of really being ready to be out there and play in the SEC. So I think it's taken her a little bit longer to just come into her own, like you mentioned, and this could be a really big year for her. I think you've got a lot of confidence around her. I think she's kind of settled in a little bit more. Again, a brand new system with Kelsey Music, but you hope that she kind of gets back to just feeling comfortable again on the court and being able to play a little bit freer. That's kind of that's how I saw things unfold her first two seasons.
The thing with Jenna, it's she's too nice. You know what I mean? Like
there's that too. She's almost like. Do you remember how Jessica Jackson was almost like too nice?
Yeah.
It was like, Jessica, go out there and like push somebody around. So I think you're right.
She's a lovely person. I mean, Jenna's terrific. It's just like on the court. I want you to be really nice off the court and an assassin on the court. I think she's still working on that assassin aspect.
I think so too. Get a bit of mean streak in you. You have to when you're playing in the SEC. So maybe you'll get some of that from her.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, HOGS, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.